Hi everybody. Sorry this is late, but oh boy, it was a day today. Okay. So what I know was really good, and there was some explosive anger. So um, although I wasn't trying to wait until it was really late, I kind of think it was a reason for it because yeah, there was a lot. Um, I there soap operas can't use language, um, but there were a couple times where I thought that the actors, as the characters, might actually use some bad language, and I actually agreed with it for one time because um, I like it. Okay, now I have to explain something. I may be a little bit odd because I really get into the storylines and the characters and everything, like really get into it. And when they actually have real emotions, like I would have, I welcome that because I think sometimes everything is a little too sanitized. So, yeah. Okay. So, what I'm talking about here is that, well, alright. I'm gonna do it the way I usually do it, and then I'm gonna add other stuff as it comes along. Okay. Okay. So the storylines were Claire and Kyle, and everyone trying to warn them or warn her about Victor's uh, tendency toward trying to run people's lives and to try to be herself despite this. And even Jack was in on it, and um, Diane said, Diane seconded what he said. So that was like, I mean, it was nice, but it was odd because you have to imagine that. Imagine, okay, imagine the most naive person you ever met in your life. Only now she's starting to get a little knowledge about how the world works. Okay? Imagine that person. And then she's getting happy in a relationship with a person she thinks, well, I mean, she's in love with. Okay? So imagine that. And then imagine a bunch of people telling her that there's this guy that's her grandfather, but is going to warn her against this relationship that she really loves to be in. And imagine trying to compute all that information and still have your own opinion at the end of the day. Um, okay. And Victor's logic is that, and I I was grateful for the character of Nick today because he actually said some of the words I was thinking in my head as Victor was talking. Because Victor says, well, just Claire is too naive and too new to the world, and she doesn't deserve to be her heart to be stomped on by him. And I don't want her in the relationship, and it just won't be. Okay. And then Nick says, okay, so he's not good enough for Claire, but he's good enough for Summer, which Summer is Nick's daughter, for the people who don't know. Also, Victor's granddaughter, also. So, in a way, not only is he saying that one is better than the other for the same guy, but his own son's daughter is good enough for him, but not good enough for like St. Clair. Okay, try to compute that in your head. You know. And What Victor put succinctly was, well, um, they have history together and they have a child. So that means a lifelong commitment. And Summer doesn't take any stuff. And this is when I wish you would have said the other word. I would have inserted in there. Use your imagination. It starts with S. Okay? Um, she doesn't take any stuff from anybody and she can handle herself. I'm like, okay. Um, yeah, but I found that peculiar too, so. Okay. Then we have the other major storyline, which is, um, let's see. Well, I'm gonna call it the big showdown. Uh, when Amy meets her son again, um, apparently, because you have to believe that she has been trying to find her son for years. Okay. And he doesn't want to be found. And he let it be known, and he made it crystal clear today. He said, "I, as far as I'm concerned, I cut all ties with you a long time ago. So uh, please give me the respect of that, and please make the most of the days you have left, or something like that." And then she says, "Well, I don't have much life left." And then here's the kicker. He says, I swear to God, he says, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "What?" She said that, and you said, "What do you mean by that?" Okay. For the people who don't get it, she's dying. If you don't understand when someone says, "I don't have much time left," what do you think it means? Okay. So once I had an aneurysm, um, I listened to the words, and he says, uh, well, she says, "Well, there's some things I want to tell you before I can't anymore." And he says, "So what?" And I'm like, "That acting on this man." Okay, number one, she says, I want you to know that the father you know is not your father. He's like, "What?" I thought whoever Jackson is my father, and no one is going to tell me different. And I'm like, okay, simmer down. Um, and, and she says, "Well, of course it doesn't change anything, and of course it doesn't. He's my father, no matter what you say." So then he says, "Okay." So once he gets calmed back down, I guess, to his level of calm, he says, "Well, can you hook me up with whoever the father is, whoever my father is?" She says, "Sadly, no." "Well, who is it?" It was a, he was a man named Nathaniel Hastings. And he looks at Nate, and he kind of computes it like it takes a minute, but it finally registers that, Nate Hastings is Nathan Hastings' son, so they might be brothers. And he's like, "So it means that he's he's my brother." And okay, now I have to explain. What I'm explaining here is that yes, I get the subject matter is not funny, but the way the information was conveyed and then taken in was funny because it was like he was in a total state of disbelief, but his disbelief was not like open mouth, like maybe I don't know. I've never had this piece of information dropped on me, But if I had something shocking told to me, I think my reaction would be first, open mouth, drop mouth, and say nothing for 5 minutes. I don't know. And then probably, what? Like, did I hear you right? Not explosive anger. That just wouldn't be me. So while I understand his reason for his reaction, the way he did it was not really conducive uh, to anything. And he was disrespectful to the woman who's his mother, in my opinion, because he basically had the opinion of, what do you want? Versus, oh, okay, I see what you're saying there. And I don't want, okay, there's two sides of me and they're kind of fighting. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I understand because he's so angry. But if a person tells you something life altering and you don't alter your behavior because of it, I start to question you as a person, because I think their circumstances should alter your behavior in your circumstances. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Mm, we shall see tomorrow. And tomorrow is Wednesday, so, well, this whole month has been really good. So the thing is going to continue to be good. But beware of maybe some possible cliffhangers and stuff like that. So, all right. Bye, everybody.